All right, well, I guess it's my turn. Normally, I don't really say a whole lot during these board comments. I try to keep it to a minimum, but tonight's going to be a little bit different. Since it's the first of the year, and I've talked to Miss Finley about many of these things that I'm going to talk about tonight, is to try to change the direction of how we do things with Huntsville City Schools to try to improve it. So, as we talk about these things and we look at it, we really, as a school district, if you look in days, you have 2,160 interactions or days with the kids from first grade to 12th grade. It's not a lot when you really look at that. So the time that we spend with education with those kids is very important. And any time that we take away from that for other things takes away from whatever benefit we can give them as they graduate and come out of our schools. So I'm going to try to address the school system from the top to the bottom, all the way, in a very short period of time. I'm not going to take up everybody's time. But as a CFO and the superintendent, we have to have you looking future forward, meaning that on the superintendent side, we've got legislating coming down from Montgomery of how they think education should be done. You've got to figure out how to navigate those things. And we still have academic issues within our schools that we still got to have to take care of. You've got to navigate how we're handling COVID and fewer resources. So you've got to be future facing to figure those things out. And the same thing with the CFO, you've got to figure out how to finance this thing when a lot of the COVID money goes away. So we need you guys really forward facing on those things. And as we go through this, some of the things that I'm going to talk about hopefully will help all the way down to our classroom. Uh, One of the things that I want to talk about is we have our agenda meetings, and we have all of our folks that we have here, plus others, that have to that sit in those meetings to present and give us information on the agenda that we have. I will no longer request to have those meetings. Other board members may still want that. That is your prerogative. But I will no longer request to have those because it is, number one, we're taking you away from the job that you need to do for at least an entire day to support that need. We're have our lawyer there, which we're incurring legal fees for him to participate. So that's money that we can save there. We all can read the agenda. We all can read the board things. And if we have questions specifically, we can reach out to the superintendent, the CFO, or whoever we need to get those answered. So I am suggesting to my fellow board members to think about no longer holding those so that we can have them focus more on the jobs that they have to do every day. Uh, One of the other things that we need to look at is we have a consent order that's in front of us. And there's a lot of manual manipulation of gathering data that goes on at the end of the year to get ready to present our reports to the DOJ and the judge. I am asking that we look at ways to automate that process so that that information can be visible to us on a dashboard in real time. So when we see issues that may be ticking up during the school year, we can attack those issues and change that direction of that trend before we reach the end of the year. Right now, we have to do an autopsy of what has happened. Now I'm saying let's do something in near real time where we can do that. So these are data points that can easily be entered and put into a database and make it a web-based situation. I'll let you figure those things out. But realistic, we need to have that so that we can see those things and get out of the business of hand putting this stuff together at the last minute or during the year and automate it so that those individuals that do those things can focus more on the education side and in those classrooms. What can we do to support that? On the financial side, we need a CFO, we need a dashboard of our finances. We should be able to know at a near real time situation the status of our finances with the school system. And that also includes understanding what our federal programs, do we have money that's coming in from grants, how that process is going. What do we have that is in existence today, how much money that is, and what is that money being used for? On the other side of the fence, we have the grants that are coming in that we need to have written. What is that money going to be for? What is it going to impact in our classrooms? So having that visibility for our board members and to be able to present that to the public is, I think, very important. And that also needs to be automated in a sense. One of the other things that we need to look at is on our accounting system. We have a very old accounting software system that is not very flexible, that does not allow us to do many things. One of the issues that I see from that is we have employees that cannot, it is a deterrent for them to work for Huntsville City Schools to get paid once a month, because our accounting system is so difficult to work with to try to make that happen for that set of employees. So I want us to look at a way to try to improve that situation so that some of these folks that we have leaving, as Ms. Watkins so eloquently put, we can find a way to keep those people here and not give them yet another reason to go someplace else if possible. One of the other things on the financial side is we have a large school district, and we have a lot of sports programs that we buy uniforms for. If we are able to buy in bulk or become a Nike school system or a Under Armour, Reebok, whatever, we can drive the individual costs down for our schools to purchase the items that they need for their, their different athletic programs. So if we buy in bulk or as a bulk contract, meaning that they bid on Huntsville City Schools' work, then we have an opportunity to possibly drive that cost down. So that's something that I would like for you, to take a look at that. We have a foundation that we just approved a couple of weeks back to get funding to be able to support our schools. This will be another good addition because now they know what the prices are on the things that they're trying to buy. One of the other things we need to look at is programs. We have a lot of programs in our school system. Not all of them are the shining star and are, producing for us. And really what it is a burden on either the principal or the teachers in the classroom to enter that data or keep up with it. So if we have programs like that, let's do an inventory on it and let's get rid of them. And before we bring in something new, let's look to see what value it's going to bring into that classroom or that building. And if it can bring value, does it bring more value than something we already have? And maybe we can replace something that we have with something new, or maybe we'd add it on. But let's try to decrease some of that weight from some of the things that we have in that classroom area. Another thing that we need to take a look at is the number of meetings that we have. We're asking our principals to be the CEO of the building, but they can't be the CEO of the building if they're not in the building or they're in meetings. So if there's a way that we can streamline some of those meetings to get data that you need to do those things, that would be great. We really need them in the building to work with those teachers and to focus on the academic side of what needs to happen. That's kind of the gist of what I wanted to say tonight. The idea is that we need to have, like I said, we have approximately 2,160 interactions with our kids. And to make those interactions as productive as possible, we need to try to get rid of some of the things that may be hindering us from doing that. And those are my comments for this evening. Ms. Finley?
Thank you, Mr. Mathews.